There he is. Pizza Fest is coming. I'm excited for this. What do we expect out of this Pizza Fest? You know, what do the fans expect?
It's the best pizza that's ever been assembled under one roof in the history of mankind. I mean, we really have, like, you name it, the Farah, John's the Bleecker, Sally's, Pepe's. They've never been all together, ever. So it's the best pizza ever, and we set it up in a way, it's expensive. Tickets are expensive, but the line shouldn't be too bad, so you're going to get the best pizza you can ever get all in one spot. So if you look at it that way, it's a deal. I'm very excited.
I got to go back. How much should pizza cost? Because, like, what's the rate? At what point do you say, man, if I'm going to pay this price, it's got to be really good pizza? So what's the average price of a good pizza that you think?
It's not so much.
I can't figure out the price of a pizza now.
Like $20-25 is like a good pizza, but the bigger issue with a lot of these places, like you show up at Sally's on a Sunday, you're going to wait 3 hours. So it's not so much the price, it's just getting the places. Like John's a Bleecker, you got to wait in line for an hour. So it's more the time. You know, it's not how much it costs, it's just they're in demand. They're hard to get sometimes.
Frank the Tank, the star of New York, the king of New York.
Yeah.
Do you think he's getting girls? Do you think, or do you know if like girls are coming after him right now, or like what's his love life like?
It's not even whether he's getting girls. It's the fact that we're having questions asked about is Frank the Tank getting girls. Shows you just how powerful Frank the Tank has come. I haven't asked him about his personal life, but that itself just speaks to the King of New York.
Who is the biggest person that you have in your phone? The one you're like, dude, you show your friends, like, I got this person on my phone, this is pretty cool.
It's an interesting question. Who is the biggest? I have a Charles Barkley in my phone. That's a big one. But maybe he's the biggest. I guess it would depend. I have Tucker Carlson. Some people say he's the biggest. Depends who you like, I guess.
Yeah, and what do you think about Tucker? I mean, obviously, him going to Twitter. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, you're a guy who knows about media and you project and see what's going on in the media landscape. Are you, like, fan of what he's doing? Is it kind of like thinking you get the kind of wheels spinning, like maybe I should start doing something along those lines?
You know, I think he just creates content that obviously speaks to people, sometimes positively, sometimes negatively. I don't know that he's even looking at it like, oh, this is my business side. I think he's just let me create content that's great and people consume it. So he's killing it.
K. Marco, what's the deal here? Where is he? I think people wonder where he is.
I love these questions. These are out of left field. K. Marco, he still is on payroll. He is not as active as he's used to been. He's obviously a core guy. He made millions through the transaction. But his day-to-day, I'm not quite sure right now.
Speaking of which, you made a lot of layoffs, but I've noticed the blog has been a lot more content. Was that something that you wanted to make sure that there's been a lot more content?
You know, anytime you have to do layoffs, which is awful, I think it's a wake-up call, and maybe people become more appreciative that they didn't get caught up in the layoffs. So, the blog has picked up for sure, and people, I think, are trying to pull their weight and fill in for the losses.
How do you keep a girl like Brianna Chicken Fight happy and keep her at Barstool long term? Because from what I understand, I know I just actually talked to O'Malley, and she just signed a 2-year contract, but I guess, you know, they're stars, they're talent, but how do you make them happy?
I guess that depends for each personality, each star, each talent. They have to be happy. You have to be flexible, try to make sure that they're happy waking up because Brianna is a star. If talent wants to leave, there's very little you can ever do to, like, stop that. So we just try to be flexible and work with them, but everybody's different.
And then also, I mean, this gets a little personal. Alex Bennett is obviously going through something in a relationship, but she hasn't spoken about it yet. At what point do you or do you actually get involved and say, hey, this could be really good for Barstool or for your content? Do you actually start speaking about it?
No, you know, Alex and a lot of people at Barstool have gone through, like, personal issues. We're a loony bin in some sorts. It's like Saturday Night Live, you know. But no, we never push for that. Like, she's got to feel comfortable talking about what she's comfortable with. It's her life, and no one can tell her what she should talk about or not talk about except her.
Yeah. U.S. Open. You love the U.S. Open. The traffic was terrible.
Arnia Sabalenka.
You said that was the best event after SNL. That you're the best New York City experience. Do you still stand by that?
I do.
Yeah.
So New Yorkers are very New Yorky. They'll be like, you got to do this, you got to do that. The U.S. Open is definitely on that list of, like, the true New Yorker event. I loved it. I loved the tennis. I fell in love with Arnia Sabalenka. So I really did enjoy it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about the Jets this year?
I don't think they're going to be nearly as good as people think. Aaron Rodgers, who I'd consider like a friend, he's my age. The Jets stink. They always stink. You want to talk about a guy who's living up the New York life.
Yeah.
You see him in a crowd at Knicks, Rangers, U.S. Open. I don't even know if he's on the practice field.
Yeah.
You know, he's in the twilight of his career, of his life, you could say. I don't see him turning it around. And by the way, that's no offense, because I'm very good friends with Joe Douglas, the GM.
Yeah.
And I love Joe. He's a great guy, but I'm a Patriot fan. So you're not going to get me to sit here and say, oh, the Jets will be great. I'll believe it when I see it.
Last question. Obviously, you got Penn back. You got Barstool back from Penn, but you got a huge paycheck. What was your big splurge or purchase as a gift to yourself once you got
I bought a racehorse, Wonder Girl Carly, paid $650,000 for it.
650. And how much is that a good investment? Like, I
No,
don't know,
terrible, dumb.
Is it?
You might as well burn the money. Like, no, it's a terrible investment. Unless you have like oil money, you don't spend $650,000 on a horse, because I'm not rich enough to do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, whatever, I'm going to splurge once, but it is not a good investment. I would not advise that for anybody.
Dude, you're always the best. Good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too. Yep.